happiest book in the Bible, which is crazy because it was written in a prison. Philippians is a letter that the Apostle Paul wrote to the people of Philippi while he was in prison for speaking the gospel. You would assume that being thrown in prison would break down a person's spirit, and that being arrested for sharing the gospel would shake someone's faith, but not Paul. Philippians 1 starts out by Paul writing, "I thank my God every time I remember you. In all my prayers for all of you, I always pray with joy, because of your partnership in the gospel from the first day until now." Even though Paul is in prison, he's still thinking of his friends and thanking God for them. When I read these verses over recently, I found it amazing how well they connect to our world today. I've heard a lot of people saying that the thing they miss most while they are social distancing is their friends. Now, Paul could have just sat in prison and moped about not being able to see his friends, and we could all just sit in our houses and miss our friends, or we could do something about it like Paul. Just like Paul, we can pray for our friends. We can thank God that we have amazing friends, and thank God that we have amazing memories from when we were with our friends. And thankfully, this virus will end, and we'll be able to see our friends and make more memories. In hard times, we can spend all our time thinking of how fortunate we are. We can use it as a time to reflect and thank God for everything He has given us. There are many things in our lives, such as our friends, that we may take for granted until they are gone. Whether it be in prison, in self-isolation, or any other hard time, it is a great time to reflect, and not just miss these things we took for granted, but thank God we ever had them. In verses 12 to 13, Paul writes, "Now I want you to know, brothers and sisters, that what has happened to me has actually served to advance the gospel. As a result, it has become clear throughout the whole palace guard and to everyone that I am in chains for Christ." Paul was in prison and it still didn't stop him from preaching the gospel. Most people in bad situations just sit and think about how bad things are. People don't think of anything positive, and God is the furthest thing from their mind. This wasn't the case for Paul. He saw prison as a new opportunity. He saw the prisoners and guards as people who didn't know God, and spent his time in prison making it known that he was in chains for Christ. We can learn from Paul and apply it to our own lives. We can take bad situations and use them as a way to connect with others and spread good news. The questions we can ask ourselves are, while we are all in a difficult time right now, what are some things that we are thankful for? And what are some things that you didn't truly appreciate until they were gone?